We've installed an 11 kW Kohler diesel generator in the 438 Evolution. It's located beneath the large hatch that's in the aft cockpit. The Kohler generator in this boat provides 11 kWs of power. That's plenty to run the options on this boat. It's probably a good idea, though, to manage your loads a little bit and make sure that you don't use too many of the high draw pieces of equipment at the same time. For instance, the hot water heater, the Kenyon cooktop, the Seakeeper, all those units draw a lot of electricity. So it's necessary to keep in mind that the high draw units can't run all at the same time. For the generator to operate properly, it will need to have a constant supply of raw water. That supply of raw water will come through a C-valve that's located in the center aft bilge. The hose that takes the water from the C-valve to the generator also has a raw water strainer installed in it. Both the C-valve and raw water strainer, located in the center aft bilge, need to be open and clear. The C-strainer is transparent, so you can look at it and see if there's any growth or seaweed in it. If there is, you need to open it and clean the basket that's inside. The first step to take before starting the generator is to check your diesel fuel level. We've installed a 25-gallon tank. It's in the port side of the aft cockpit. Its gauge is located in the upper left corner of the switch panel cabinet. You'll want to take a look at the fuel level and make sure you have enough for whatever amount of time you're going to use the generator. And then the next step is to start your blower. The blower needs to run for at least 5 minutes before you start the generator, and then throughout the time of your use of the generator. You'll shut it off when you shut the generator down. It's good to let it run for at least 5 minutes before starting, and then throughout the time that the generator is running. The first step to operating your generator is to make sure that your generator breaker is in the off position. There's a slide cover over it. It's located just beneath the shore power switch. After you've made sure that you have a good supply of raw water to the generator and let your blower run for at least 5 minutes, you're ready to go to the Kohler panel and start the generator. The Kohler control panel is in the top right corner of the cabinet where the switch panel is. To start the generator, you'll energize the power button that's just above the Kohler logo on the panel. Once it says send run, you'll press the up arrow, and then you'll hear a fuel pump run for a few seconds, and then the generator will start. Once the generator has started, you'll be able to monitor the various information that the panel here will give you by pressing the up or down arrows. For instance, press the button up, you'll get the hours and the voltage. Here's your temperatures, oil pressure, back to hours. I always like to let the generator run for a minute or so before I start to energize the circuits on the boat. This will give the unit a chance to warm up a little bit and be ready for the loads that you're going to ask it to provide. Once your generators run for a minute or so to warm up, you'll be able to turn on the breaker that will allow it to supply power to all the accessories on the boat. To do that, you go to your generator breaker, press it to on, and you'll see that your line voltage comes up. This is a 120/240 system, so there's 121 on that line. Line 2 has the same, so you're all set. When you start to use your accessories, you'll see how the load current increases. For instance, if you turned on the hot water heater, you'd have an increase in the load current. To turn on battery chargers, you'll see that the load current increases slightly. When you're through using the generator, you'll need to shut it down in the opposite sequence of what you did when you turned it on. So, first thing is to turn off all the appliances that you've chosen, be they battery chargers, water heater, outlets. You need to turn them all off, and then you'll be able to turn off the main breaker at the top of the panel that is 50 amps. You'll switch that off. I always like to let the generator run for a minute or so without a load on it, so that you don't go right from having it run with a load to shutting down. It's better to have the oil circulate throughout the engine. To shut the Kohler generator off, you touch the power button at the top, and then you'll see a signal come onto the screen that says stop. You'll press one of the arrows on the bottom, and that'll shut the generator down. There's an in-depth Kohler owner's manual for the generator included in your owner's packet. Please review it for operation of the generator and all its safety features.